Somewhere deep in the jungles of Southeast Asia, there exists a collection of nearly 7,000 cars. We've always known it existed, but only recently have we been given such a clear look inside. A few months ago, links began appearing online, Google Drive folders filled with thousands of photographs. They date back to 2001, but that hardly matters now. This is the story of the Brunei car collection. Brunei is a tiny nation on the island of Borneo, bordered by Malaysia. It's immensely wealthy thanks to its vast oil reserves, and that explains how such a fortune could be spent on so many cars. The main characters of this tale are Prince Jefri and his brother Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah, who, for a time, was considered the richest man in the world. Back then, Prince Jefri served as Minister of Finance. Well, served might not be the right word. It was more of a title than a duty. Think of it like being a minister in some symbolic government office. Not much is known about his private life, but one thing is certain, the man was not ordinary. He married 5 times, and by 2008, reportedly had 17 children. Beyond cars, he collected nearly everything that screamed luxury. Masterpieces by Manet and Renoir, super yachts, one of which he named Nipples. It's said he once spent $900 million in a single jewelry store. He bought luxury hotels around the world and even owned a monstrous Boeing 747 with a fully customized interior gilded in gold. He lived the life of a wild playboy on a minister's salary from 1986 until 1997, when he was prosecuted for embezzling $16 billion, roughly $31 billion in today's value. But the real issue wasn't the cars. It was failed investments that the Sultan knew nothing about, and when he found out, he was furious. He immediately halted all car deliveries, dismissed the mechanics, and locked the garages. Another reason for the Sultan's anger was the oil crisis that had struck Brunei. Money was tighter than ever. After the trial, Jefri was forced to return his assets. No one really knows what he's doing today, though we know he's alive and is reconciled with his family after many years. As for the collection, no one truly knows how many cars it held. Some say 2,000 or 3,000 when Jefri fell from grace, while others insist the Sultan still owns around 7,000. I searched the entire internet, but I couldn't figure out whether the Sultan kept expanding Jefri's collection or if the two built it together. Many of the plaques on the cars mention the royal family, sometimes the Sultan, sometimes the prince. Either way, the real stars here are not the royals, but the machines themselves. Perhaps the most extravagant part of the collection is the fleet of Mercedes AMG models, a full-size S-Class cabriolet, hand-built by AMG for the royal family. Not some garage custom, a genuine factory order. AMG originally built 35 CL72s, then the prince said, "I'll take about 25 of those." Naturally, they also owned countless SLs and S sedans with the same monstrous engines, some armored, some painted in royal yellow and red. Among the badges on one trunk, you could see a power rating and the word Brunei. Subtlety was not their style. One of the rarest AMG models ever made, the E-Class E60 was also reimagined for Jefri. He requested a wagon version, and of course, not just one, but several, at least 4, including a unique convertible version. They also owned special AMG cars built for the DTM Championship, 2 of only 2 C36s, and a true race-ready 1992 Evo. Rumor has it, he even owned an AMG CLK GTR, though it doesn't appear in the leaked photos. The madness continues with a Mercedes 300 SL Gullwing, restored and modified by AMG themselves, one of several resto-mods made for the Sultan, and select clients. Sadly, each required sacrificing an original car, now worth over $1 million apiece. They even modified a classic 600 Pullman, replacing its engine with a V12 and redesigning the entire interior. But let's move on enough Mercedes for now. Next up, BMW. The royal family wasn't as passionate about BMWs as they were about Mercedes and Ferrari, but there were still plenty: 5s, 7s, 8s, Alpinas, and even a bright green roadster with red and black trim. The BMW Nazca M12 concept, a futuristic supercar that never went into production, also found its way to Brunei. And now, the Ferraris. Here's where things get truly unbelievable. One Ferrari had a strange bulge on its roof, a night vision camera. Yes, the same kind used by soldiers. Inside were 4 screens and a tangle of thick cables in the trunk. Brunei enforces strict Sharia law. At night, the streets are empty. It's said that these cars were driven only after dark, perhaps explaining the night vision idea. Still, imagine driving a Ferrari while staring at screens instead of the road. Utterly absurd, but somehow magnificently cool. That collection of Ferrari 4, 5, 6 GTS models was valued at over 15 million euros, including 6 limousines, 2 convertibles, and 4 wagons, each worth about $1 million apiece. Then there was the Ferrari Mythos, a concept car based on the Testarossa, intended only for display. 3 were built, but when royalty waves cash, rules melt away. Personally, a hideous design. Yet another prototype, the Ferrari FX, was even more fascinating. Built by Pininfarina for the Sultan alone, it had cutting-edge tech for its time, including a sequential gearbox developed by ProDrive and refined by engineers from the Williams Formula One team. There's also the Ferrari F90, a secret project even Ferrari didn't know existed for 17 years. Only Enrico Fumia, head of research and development, was aware of it. It was built in total secrecy, commissioned directly by the royal family. Their F40 and F50 collections are massive, including a rare F40 LM, one of only 19 customized with a full leather interior instead of racing seats. Experts estimate its worth today at 10 to 15 million euros. Let's not forget the Bentleys and Rolls-Royces. In the 90s, Bentley built 6 Dominators, the predecessors of today's Bentayga SUV, made exclusively for Brunei's royals. The collection held around 400 Bentleys and 600 Rolls-Royces. Ironically, both brands were later sold, Bentley to Volkswagen, Rolls-Royce to BMW, right around the time the royal family stopped buying from them. Some say that loss of their biggest client nearly ruined both companies. One Rolls-Royce, covered entirely in gold, was used in the Sultan's wedding parade and entered the Guinness Book of Records as the most expensive gold-covered car in the world, valued at $14 million. Of course, the collection includes nearly every supercar from the 1990s you could imagine, 10 McLaren F1s, 6 Bugatti EB110s, a Porsche 962 Le Mans, Honda NSXs, every Lamborghini model, and countless Aston Martins, Jaguars, Lexuses, and Nissans. The collection still exists today. Some of the cars are periodically shipped to England for servicing and then returned. However, dealers who visited the garages around 20 years ago say the ventilation systems didn't work, humidity damaged many interiors, mold grew everywhere. The tropical air and salty sea breeze slowly ate away at the machines. Still, some reports claim the Sultan resumed his passion after reconciling with his brother, buying, selling, and maintaining cars once more. The main garages are no longer secret. You can find them yourself, look up Jeredong Beach on Google Earth. Even drone videos on YouTube show glimpses of the massive compounds. Many of these cars still sit there, some with 0 miles on the odometer. I can understand buying a McLaren F1 as an investment, driving it occasionally, sure, but 300 ordinary S-classes, never driven, just parked? That's madness. Cars are made to move, not to rot. If there truly are 7,000 of them, and you drove 1 car per day, it would take you over 19 years just to drive them all once. And the tragedy isn't just that many of them have decayed. It's that, in a country where people don't live lavishly, such wealth sat locked away. Yes, Brunei has a generous welfare system, no one there goes hungry, but still, the contrast is painful. So many hungry souls around the world, and yet a man spends 7 million euros on a watch featuring animated figures in compromising poses. What's wrong with us when power blinds us so completely? In the end, this story is both fascinating and sad, a glimpse into what happens when human desire meets limitless money. If you enjoyed this story, you can buy me a coffee. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for your attention, and as always, have a nice day.